Hello, I am Logan M. Sharp, the guy in charge of the 20th Century Dude channel, and this is my video commentary for 2023, which was my second experimental film, a montage film for my advanced experimental class last semester. Uh, and initially, this wasn't exactly my original idea. For one, there were a bunch of other ideas I was tackling, but due to the fact that they were a bit too ambitious and there was a lack of time with my other academics, it just sort of didn't happen that way. So I needed something I could cobble up together that could technically qualify as an experimental film, and that's why we sort of have this. Uh, So yeah, it was due to lack of time, which was it was basically a huge problem for last year. If I could describe my problem with it anyway, there just wasn't time for really anything. So yeah, well, it already began as I started yapping. So all right. But as far as my other ideas go, I was tackling maybe doing something like combining live action with animation or just plain animation, but this time as an experimental project, I was possibly going to be doing something with potentially sort of like the Forrest Gump like piece people replacement effect, I guess you can call it that, or at least inserting yourself in the old footage, something of that sort. Which probably would have taken months, and I didn't have months. So again, this is why this was here, something quick that I could cobble up and didn't really have to film anything, and could still count as montage. So you'll notice that there is a lot of politicking around, I guess. But in this current climate, I didn't want to cater to one side of the political spectrum over the other. I tried to present 50-50 of both points of view, because it's probably best anyway to represent both sides, not to alienate 50% of your audience, as certain companies seem apt to do nowadays. But yeah, so I mean, I've sort of leaned more independent anyway in the past several years. I just sort of try not to be biased, try to just keep out of trouble politically anyway. So that's just me. I'm not going to go super deep into my political beliefs because, I mean, just trying to keep out of it, I guess, and avoid the bias. Avoiding bias is pretty key. I mean, if it were me, I think more politically neutral environments breeds less divisiveness in the country. But that's just me. Uh, but then, as you can see there, I mean, we can't ignore things like Joe Biden falling down. I mean, that could happen to anybody. But that's President of the United States we're talking about, so that's a little different. Uh, And as you probably also noticed, I applied when I did the last bunch of editing for the project. Literally, the day of the project was due, nonetheless. So this was turned in an hour before it was due. So I was working on it to the brink. But there's an old sort of film dirt, film grain moving through the film gate effect I put on there. I mean, which really isn't a thing for 2023, but whatever, I guess. I like the style, who cares? Uh, but yeah, we're almost 5 minutes in, and we're to August by now, interestingly enough. Because, I mean, the purpose of that was basically time flies. Uh, but also, I didn't want something that was super long because, I mean, there were about like 15 other people in class we needed to do final screenings for, so I wasn't going to make something over 10 minutes and take up too many people's time. So that was the reasoning behind that. I basically shortened it. I mean, I didn't include every single day of the year either, because I mean there are those few days during the year where literally nothing happens, or there's just some days that maybe aren't as important as others as far as events go. So yeah, and there's the strikes. So as far as the overall reception went, unlike my other experimental film, the professor thought it was okay. I mean, I can tell he probably wanted me to do something beyond montage. But again, that was just something that occurred sort of to lack of time. And I mean, to be honest, to be fair, I'm not really the super biggest fan of this anyway because I basically had to half ass it. But yeah. And the inclusion of this Beatles songs is probably why this video itself will never get monetized. I mean, I don't get monetized anyway because of my low amount of film subscribers, but I mean, it is what it is. It wanted to include it, so there it is. That is assuming this. I mean, apparently this video is already being blocked in several countries due to some copyright restriction, but whatever. Again, whatever. I guess. I mean, I don't really feel like fixing it. It is what it is. But now we're in the month of December. Technically, it doesn't really go all the way in for December. I think it really only goes up to the point to the day of for final screenings that week. And for some of you who are wondering who didn't see the non-commentary version of this, I did credit the channels in which I did grab all this video from. So I'm not technically plagiarizing, as they say, but I just want to make that clear. And this was also a last minute decision as well for the Republican debates, I thought, and this was really a callback to the uh, debate between JFK and Richard Nixon back in 1960, the first televised presidential debate. Sort of a callback to what viewers would experience that like. Uh, a lot of notable deaths as well this year. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the year now. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the commentary, and no, there will not be a sequel to this. I don't know how you can make sequels to experimental films anyway. But yeah, that's it, I guess. Tune in for more. See ya.